Next, let's talk about email and how it can help you fill your sales pipeline. The number one thing you have to know about using email for sales and marketing in general is deliverability. It didn't always used to be that way. No one knew the word deliverability a decade ago, and now anybody who has anything to do with sales prospecting or marketing needs to be intimately familiar with deliverability. So what does that mean? Effectively, it means the ability for you to get your email to someone else's inbox. Not their junk folder, not their other folder, it's their inbox. And it's harder today than it was yesterday, and it'll be harder tomorrow than it is today. You have to observe some best practices in this area that are constantly changing, but you have to observe best practices in this area to make sure you are at least set up for success. Number one, domains. You have to have domains that are on Gmail and Outlook. Let me say it again. You have to have Outlook domains and Gmail domains. You have to have a lot of senders on each domain. So like around 50 would be a best practice. And the reason for that is because you need Gmail and Outlook receiving those emails on behalf of prospects that you're sending to think that you're at a big company. And they know how many senders are on each domain. So if you set up a domain, for example, and you have one sender on that domain, then Gmail and Outlook are going to go, this isn't a real company. This is ridiculous. We're going to send this to spam. When it comes to spam, the biggest change that's happened over the last 4 months is Microsoft Outlook has gotten really stringent on what it lets into its inboxes. So it's really, really changed, and you have to be extremely deliberate, especially with Microsoft inboxes, in terms of how many you're sending on a daily basis, your domain to sender ratio, how the emails look and feel. Those are all of increasing importance when it comes to Microsoft. Next, you got to hook it up to a system. In this day and age, typically what we're seeing more advanced sales prospectors use are Instantly, Smart Lead, Pipel. Those are 3 in vogue right now. And the tool you select is incredibly important because as email marketing changes, as deliverability changes, you really need to be aligned with the right tool that is hyper-focused on sales prospecting, because then they won't divert resources to other products in their mix. You have to have a company hyper-focused on sales prospecting so they divert all the resources for building their product to you and your purpose, which is using their tool to prospect for sales. And it's all going to be about deliverability. Next, the copy. Very short, very relevant. I'm going to keep it under 125 words. I'm going to keep the paragraphs, try to be 1 to 2 lines max. I'm also going to have some sort of social proof, and I'm going to end with a soft call to action. I'm generally not starting with, hey, would you want to have a meeting? It's sort of like, would you be interested to learn more? Is this something that could be of interest? How many emails in a sequence? Right now, I'd say a pretty quick sequence in terms of days, and maybe 3 to 5 emails. So 3 to 5 emails inside of 30 days, let that prospect cool off for 90 days and start another sequence. That's generally sort of my rule of thumb as we sit here today. Next, inboxing. Who is watching the emails that are coming back? Because those are golden. What do you do with them? Most people would say, somebody sends me an email after I send them a sales prospecting message, I respond. I probably wouldn't. I'd probably pick right up the phone. That's the way I would do it. I don't like the secondary response to an email. I get an email, hey, I might be interested, boom, pick up the phone. Hey, just saw you shot me a note, didn't have time to get back, thought maybe I'd give you a call, it would be easier. Pick up the phone and schedule that meeting. And then go through the confirmation process. Schedule a meeting, send out the invite while you're on the phone, confirm, have them accept while you're on the phone, and then make sure you're going through whatever rigorous confirmation process you're going through after that. The person you would have manage your email today is very different from the person you'd have manage your email campaigns 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you'd probably have someone with more of a marketing background managing your outbound email campaigns. Now you need somebody with more of a technology background. It sounds odd, but the name of the game is getting an email to an inbox. Before, there were so many emails in your inbox, it was about how do you use your marketing brain to stand out in that inbox so that someone would open your email, read your email, reply to your email. Now it's different. The act of just getting there is the most important hurdle to jump over. The content has almost become secondary. Sounds crazy, but true. So I am leaning heavily on my IT team, on my technology team, on my development team to ensure I've got the infrastructure and architecture in place to ensure I'm giving myself the highest probability of getting to a prospect's inbox. I think in sum, when it comes to email, things are totally different than they were 3 to 5 years ago, which is bad in the sense that it's harder, but it's good in the sense that a lot of people have just totally given up, and you don't have to. Try using those tips. Let me know how it goes.